When you think fighting games, you may think of a few different things. You may think big combos. You may think big character rosters or flashy animations. You may think about the one-on-one competition aspect where the biggest guts will pull through and emerge victorious. And that's because fighting games can mean a lot of different things for different people. One of my favorite aspects of fighting games is neutral. Definitely one of the hardest concepts to explain, but it's when neither player is comboing or making the other player block. They are both in neutral, trying to get the hit on the other opponent. Both players are nervous. Any mistake may cost them their life, and that feeling is exhilarating. So there's nothing more soul-crushing in Dragon Ball FighterZ than outsmarting your opponent, winning the neutral, making them block, and getting clipped by a C assist. In case that little intro wasn't obvious, I'm not a big fan of C assists, and in this video we'll show you exactly how it has changed Dragon Ball FighterZ. We'll explore if those are fair or broken given their upsides and downsides, and we'll all learn together with today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Nathaniel Drew has a new lesson, Tools for Getting Your Creativity Unstuck, which is awesome for anyone with any kind of creative output. Creativity isn't always flowing, and Nathaniel Drew gives you some great tools to counter that state of mind. If you're looking to make a YouTube channel, there's some great advice in video editing, thumbnail design, and so many more topics. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, but the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of a premium membership so you can fully explore your creativity. Make sure to join, the link is down below, check out the classes they're offering and learn something new for free with that free trial. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now, it's not just C assists. Oh no. Looking at the latest DLC characters, I'm starting to see a trend and I'm not sure I like where Dragon Ball FighterZ is going with this. UI Goku, a DP assist that works as a reversal but also gives you a ton of hit stun, giving you around 2 hours to confirm into a combo. Master Roshi, same thing, armored startup, defensive assist, you get 3 hours to confirm into a combo. Super Baby 2, full screen tracking, vertical and horizontal, brings the opponent back down to the ground, giving you an easy confirm. This one is a C assist with a smaller cooldown, make no mistake about that. If they are willing to put out an assist like this, why did they nerf Bardock's assist again? I mean, at least that didn't track vertically. Now, what I like about these assists, especially UI Goku and Master Roshi, is that they're both defensive assists, and I think people who like running those types of assists were in desperate need of more options. So far, they had Android 18, Android 17, and a few DP assists available, and some of those DP assists kinda suck because they're not fully invincible, they just have air invulnerability, so they're not even fully defensive assists. And I personally struggle when playing against teams that run defensive assists like this, but I still like it when the game allows someone else to run an entirely different game plan from mine. But do any of these assists that we just talked about give you the easy, dumb confirms that UI Goku and Master Roshi give you? No, because an assist shouldn't give you everything. There need to be upsides and downsides. An assist can't cook you breakfast and also do your taxes. That's too good. But the last 3 DLC characters all came with a really dumb assist, so this feels like it's a trend that will not be stopping anytime soon. And it all started back with the announcement of Season 3 and C assists. At first, C assists seemed kinda weak. I mean, they always had good block stun, they always gave you super easy combo extensions, but having double the assist cooldown was a big penalty for how good they were, since most of them were pretty easy to avoid on reaction. A really long startup time made most of them unreliable as defensive assists, and even if you got the hit on your opponent, the damage you would get from a C assist startup would be highly scaled. So when C assists first came out, they felt like a beginner-friendly mechanic, something people could throw to extend combos without much practice, but something that at a higher level you could safely ignore. I don't think that's the case anymore. When Master Roshi came out, there was also a patch with a little note that went highly unnoticed at the time. C assists were getting changed, they were getting buffed. And it was just 2 little changes, a faster startup and reduced scaling, meaning not only do you have less time to react when an assist is called, making it harder to avoid, the reward on hit is now bigger too since the damage doesn't scale as much. This may not sound like a big deal, but let's look at a situation that happens all the time in a match. 2 players jumping around, one of them wins neutral, but the other one blocks. So the player won neutral, staircases them down to the ground, good job, you won the neutral. Now let's do the same thing, but the player who blocks called a C assist just as he was about to block. This may sound like a wild case, but this happens quite frequently in matches. The player who just won neutral has to react to that assist call. He also has to acknowledge that the assist that was called is a C assist and not whatever else this opponent is running, and stop attacking immediately. Since the startup is faster now, this assist gives the player less time to do this, less time to react, and the reward goes to the player who actually lost neutral. And the reward is simply too good. Even worse, if the player who won neutral actually reacted in time to that assist call and stopped attacking immediately, chances are the C assist is still gonna make him block. So the player who just outplayed his opponent and won neutral in an air-to-air battle is the player that is now blocking. I don't know about you, but I don't think this is okay. This isn't true for all C assists. The biggest culprits are definitely the ones with a lot of tracking and armor. For instance, Piccolo, Z Broly, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. These assists not only cook you breakfast and do your taxes, they also take your kids to school. They track, they have armor or invulnerability, and they do what C assists do, which is give you a super easy confirm with really good scaling. Now, despite all this, I don't think C assists should go away. There are plenty of things that I like about C assists, and they do have their place in this game for sure. I think they are awesome for combo extensions. They give you extra hits where most assists would not. And even if you get those extra hits with other assists, these ones are easier to use, and that's always an upside to welcoming more people into this game. I think that on block, these assists are also fair. Usually C assists have a ton of block stun, but given their big cooldown, it's a fair trade-off. You have one good mix-up before you have to wait for the assist to return. You may get the opening, and in that case you get the damage, you're rewarded, but if you don't get the opening, then you have to suffer the consequences, which is waiting for that cooldown. Neutral is where I think these assists are a problem, and now it's not just C assists anymore because here comes Baby B. Recently, WrathFGC made a video on how to counter tracking assists. I highly recommend you guys check out WrathFGC. This man makes guides like no one else. When covering how to counter tracking assists, he goes over specifically how to counter Baby B, and it turns out you can just punch him out of the air with a light attack. Simple, right? Wrong! This can be further from simple. I want you to keep in mind that all your opponent is doing is pressing an assist button, okay? For you to counter the opponent pressing an assist button, first thing you need to do, go into training mode and practice the timing to perfectly hit Baby as he is coming in. Second, you need to go into a match and practice over and over again. You need to do this in real matches enough times to be able to counter it effectively while many other things are happening at the same time. Third, not every character can do this. You need to be running a character whose jumping light attack has a hitbox that is high enough or is tall enough. Like, you need to hit above your head level. Otherwise, you're just gonna get hit by the assist even if you time it right. So you need to go through these steps, which are multiple hours of practice, to counter your opponent doing this. And even if you go through that ordeal, even if you clear the 3 steps and practice for hours, it still won't help you in this situation. This is fucking game. Yep, Baby came from behind. You can practice the jumping light as much as you want, it won't save you there. On top of all this precision, you gotta remember that we're trying to do this in an online environment. It would be a lot easier to deal with it offline, for sure. In fact, a lot of C assists wouldn't be as much of a problem in a situation where you have the extra time to react and notice the opponent use the C assist. There are a lot of online situations that would work exactly the same offline, for sure. But having that extra time to see which assist just got called and react accordingly would probably make a big difference. But online is where we're at. This is the reality where we live now, and it's the reality where they keep releasing these busted assists. Arxis is not patching their game for the offline metagame at this point. We've been in lockdown for a year now, and the lockdown will continue for the foreseeable future in most parts of the world. Until offline tournaments and events are allowed to be held again, there is no point in patching this game and trying to balance it as if it was an offline game. Super Baby 2 is the 3rd DLC character released during a pandemic, and it's the 3rd character with a busted assist. And the change to C assists was also made during the pandemic. This is the direction they're headed in, and I'm not sure I like it. It replaces one of my favorite parts of fighting games, the neutral. And it replaces that with a button that you press, you pray it hits, you pray it works. And in most cases, it actually does. And no matter how much you've labbed and no matter how good your awareness is, there are a lot of situations where there really is nothing you can do about it. It's a bit crazy to me that I'm even making a video on this topic, because it all boils down to something that I thought was obvious and didn't need anyone spelling it out, but here goes. These are called assists. They're meant to assist you in battle, not play the game for you. Whenever an assist does all of this, maybe, just maybe, you've gone too far. Keep the assists assisting and not taking over a major part of the game. That's where I stand on the subject. But I've talked enough about this topic. I'd love to know where you guys stand on this. Are you happy with the new assists? Do you like the current C assist meta? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to click the link to get that free premium Skillshare membership. Learn something new for free. There's never been a better time to do it. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!